My boss challenged me to date her sister. She had no idea we were already in love the moment. My boss folded her arms, smiled with complete confidence, and told me I should take her younger sister out on a date to prove I wasn't afraid of commitment. I felt the room grow impossibly quiet. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as every employee nearby continued working, completely unaware that the woman she was talking about had already stolen my heart months earlier. What my boss believed was a harmless challenge was actually a secret that could cost me my career, destroy a family, and force the woman I loved to choose between her sister and the future we had quietly dreamed about together. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who loves heartfelt stories, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support truly helps these stories reach more hearts. My name is Nathan Carter, and I worked for one of the fastest-growing architecture firms in Seattle, Washington. My boss, Rebecca Collins, was respected by everyone. She was brilliant, disciplined, and expected excellence from every employee. Most people assumed she was intimidating because she rarely smiled at work, but those who knew her understood she carried enormous responsibility after taking over the family business following her father's retirement. She cared deeply for her employees, even if she struggled to show it. The person she worried about most was her younger sister, Grace Collins. I met Grace by complete accident, one rainy Saturday, while volunteering at a neighborhood food pantry. Neither of us recognized the other's last name at first. She wore simple jeans, a sweatshirt, and spent the morning organizing food boxes with elderly volunteers. There was nothing about her that hinted she came from one of the city's wealthiest families. She listened more than she spoke, laughed easily, and treated every person with genuine respect. Our friendship grew naturally. We met again at community events, shared coffee after volunteering, and slowly began spending weekends exploring bookstores, hiking quiet trails, and visiting small family-owned restaurants across the city. Months passed before she casually mentioned her sister's name during dinner. My heart nearly stopped when I realized Rebecca Collins wasn't just someone with the same surname. She was my boss. Neither of us had planned for that discovery. Grace suggested we tell Rebecca immediately, but I hesitated. Company policies discouraged relationships that could create conflicts of interest, and I feared Rebecca would think I had pursued Grace to gain favor. Grace understood my concerns, though neither of us liked keeping secrets. We promised each other we would tell her when the timing felt right. That timing never seemed to arrive. Then, one Monday afternoon, Rebecca unexpectedly invited me into her office. She praised my recent work before changing the subject completely. She admitted Grace had become distant over the past several months and joked that maybe she needed to meet someone dependable instead of avoiding every introduction. Then she looked directly at me with an amused smile and challenged me to take her sister out for dinner. Every word felt heavier than the last. I wanted to tell the truth immediately, but fear held me back. I imagined losing my job, disappointing the woman who had trusted me professionally, and causing a painful misunderstanding between two sisters who meant everything to each other. That evening, I met Grace at the same lakeside bench where we'd shared countless sunsets. Before I could speak, she saw the worry on my face. We both realized the secret had grown larger than our reasons for keeping it. Love built on honesty couldn't survive behind silence forever. The following Friday, we asked Rebecca to meet us after work at a quiet cafe overlooking Puget Sound. She arrived expecting another conversation about her sister's social life. Instead, she found both of us sitting together, our hands gently intertwined. The surprise on her face quickly became confusion. For several long seconds, no one spoke. Then Grace calmly explained everything from our first meeting at the food pantry to every reason we had delayed telling her. I admitted my fear of losing the career I had worked so hard to build and apologized for allowing fear to outweigh honesty. Rebecca listened without interrupting. When the silence finally broke, it wasn't with anger. It was disappointment. Not because we loved each other, but because we hadn't trusted her enough to believe she could understand. Those words stayed with me. Over the next several weeks, rebuilding that trust required patience rather than promises. Rebecca watched how Grace smiled whenever we were together, how neither of us tried to hide anymore, and how our relationship had always been rooted in kindness instead of convenience. She eventually confessed she had been so focused on protecting her sister that she forgot Grace was capable of choosing someone worthy on her own. One Sunday afternoon, the three of us returned to the same food pantry where Grace and I had first met. Together we packed groceries, greeted families, and served meals. Watching Rebecca laugh beside her sister for the first time in months reminded me that forgiveness often begins through simple acts of service rather than dramatic speeches. If this story has touched your heart so far, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who still believes honesty and compassion can heal broken relationships. Stories like this continue because of viewers like you. As the seasons changed, Rebecca became one of our strongest supporters. She even joked that her challenge had accidentally revealed a love story she never saw coming. The fear that once kept us silent became the lesson that brought our family closer together. I remained at the company, earning every opportunity through hard work, while Grace continued serving the community that had first brought us together. Before this story ends, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us this. Do you believe telling the truth is always worth the risk, even when you're afraid of what might happen? Looking back, I often think about that impossible moment in Rebecca's office. The challenge she gave me wasn't really about dating her sister. It became a test of courage, honesty, and faith. Love doesn't ask us to hide. It asks us to become the kind of people who trust that truth, spoken with humility and kindness, can open doors that fear never could. Sometimes the greatest blessing isn't finding the right person. It's discovering that forgiveness can transform strangers into family, and that second chances often begin the moment we finally choose to tell the truth.